Good morning, you guys. And today is the 4th of October, just after 7 a.m. local time, or 07:05 to be more exact, in military time or 24-hour time, whatever you want to call it. Alright, we are in Millard, Missouri right now. We're getting into Millard. Got Kirksville Airport right here. We're actually on our way to Kirksville to pick up our reload. Just curious about not much of an airfield here. It's, I mean, well, it's, you see a runway, but where's the FBO and all that? Alright, so we're deadheading up here from Moberly, where I just did my last delivery. I ended up doing a full 34-hour reset. Got about 35 and a half, maybe 36 hours before I went on duty and started to get rolling here. So it was just enough. Worked out perfectly. So I got a fresh 70 and I'll have to sit and wait on recaps. We're going to be coming over here to the Kraft facility here in Kirksville. You see on my map there the red dot, the red pin, the location up on toward the top end of the map. That'll be where we're going to. Blue dot, yeah, kind of not quite to the center, lower center of the screen is where I'm at now. All right, we got a few different routes into there that we can take. We can either take this the business route here, and that's actually what my onboard system is suggesting, but I was actually contemplating taking 63 up and around, but yeah, because it's actually, yeah, it might add a mile or so, or a couple miles, whatever, but there's no, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that up and around route like I planned on earlier. See, my onboard system, like I said, it wants me to get off here at 63 business route, which I can do. And I don't know that this town is very big anyway. It doesn't look like there's much there, but you can see by my map there are a few different ways you can consider. Either get off right here on the business route, or a short distance further up is Highway 6. So Highway 6 is what we're ultimately going to end up getting onto, just very briefly, but we can hit it, you know, we come into town through Highway 6 or whatever that other highway is. So Highway 11, I think it says. I can't read it very well right now, but alright, let me get this zoomed in a little bit. So yeah, Kirksville is right at about a 60-mile trip north of Moberly. Both Moberly and Kirksville are along US 63, north of Columbia or I-70. Alright, so I'm starting this video a little bit later here because I want to be a little bit more to the point in getting to the receiver, to the shipper, and then figured once I'm actually there, there's some stuff I want to go into a little bit of detail on that is better suited for me to do on my laptop. Yeah, I can hook up, use my microphone and all that on there, and there's like show and tell stuff that I want to be able to show, and some of it actually will relate to trucking too, in a way, where actually it's a resource that you can use as a trucker, and many of you guys probably don't know. And that would be, because I'm going to be talking about an incident that happened in aviation just recently at Broken Bow, Oklahoma Airport. Happened just last Friday. And basically the gist of it is that a 27-year-old single mother of 3 on a lawnmower apparently got on the runway at Broken Bow Airport. And there was a 72-year-old pilot trying to land his plane at the airport there. And basically didn't see her until he was already on the ground, and then he tried to take back off and couldn't get back up to speed fast enough to where he could get up in the air to avoid hitting her. It's what we call a runway incursion incident, by the way, and it's unfortunately resulted in a fatality and 3 young kids lost their mom. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I say, you guys know I have a prior aviation background, so that's kind of why I want to talk about it. I have an interest in that kind of stuff, and really, I'm going to be talking about some of the weather condition stuff, and you know what the airfield weather was reporting at the time, and how you can actually use that same weather info as a trucker for your own planning, to an extent. Because I'm going to basically explore how in the hell did she end up on the runway, or at least give some theories on how or why she would have ended up there, or also how and why the pilot possibly could not have seen her, or should have seen her, whatever the case was. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. Alright, so yeah, well, stay tuned for that. Let's see, this shipper here I've never been to before. All I can tell you is that it's a Kraft Heinz facility, so I would take a wild guess that maybe it's cheese or dairy related in some way. My load assignment didn't even tell me what temperature to set my reefer at. It just says XXX, so then I don't know if I'm live loading or doing dropping hook here. I've never been here before, so I'm going to assume that it's a live load. So for that reason, I'm already pre-cooling my trailer. I already have it set to 35 degrees, and it's already sitting at 35. I can tell because my reefer unit's not running, and the status light there on the side of on the front of the trailer is green. So it tells me it has no problems with it. All right, so I'm going to zoom in here on this view here, and see even on this view, you can kind of see how the streets get a little bit more dense when you get into when you get right there onto that 63 business route, and that's why I did not want to go that way. If you got more dense streets like that, it means there's more probably lower speed limits in the area, probably traffic lights. And again, I don't know how big Kirksville is. I don't think it's that large a city. It looks like it's probably, I'll take a wild guess, maybe no more than 5,000 to 10,000, if even that. I don't know. But just looking at the size of the area and the layout tells me it probably 5,000-ish, we'll say. I didn't do my research on Kirksville. So I would assume there probably are at least perhaps a couple of traffic lights. I can also tell on the traffic speed data here, as I come up on intersections, like actually right there. There's there's traffic there. That's definitely an indication that there's traffic lights right there, and there's traffic in the area. And me going this way, I get to avoid all of it. So again, my onboard system wanted me to go that way, but I'm electing to come up and around and overshoot it, and then use this exit coming up and come back down, and then I'll be missing pretty much all of it. So this is where Google Maps, people talk shit about Google Maps and say, I can't take you seriously because you navigate with a truck on Google Maps. Well, there's a sign right there. Preferred truck route. I didn't even look at, I'm not following my GPS. I'm going by just what I'm seeing on the map here and what makes the most sense. It's common sense stuff to me. The biggest concern would be low bridges, obviously, and that's usually what I get asked about. Like, how do you avoid low bridges when you're just using Google Maps? I'm like, well, you can see where the railroad tracks are a lot of times on, when I'm in the regular map view. I'm on satellite right now only because it might be more useful to you guys, and also when I get right by the shipper, it'll help me out too with knowing where to make my turn. Well, I already know where to make my turn. I know I want to come around over to the west side of the shipper and then head north on the head north on the street that goes right up alongside the west end of the shipper's building, and use another road that goes along the north end of their building. I don't remember the names of the streets, but I see them right here on my map. They're highlighted in green because that's the traffic speed data. Those are the more heavily traveled roads. And the more heavily traveled roads are also the ones that are more likely to be truck legal. Alright, trucks no right turn. Preferred truck route left at the end. So, see what I mean? I've never even been here before. I've never even gone this direction to get over to Milan, which we do a good number of deliveries to. And I've been to several times myself, but I've never taken this particular route to get over to Milan, even though it is one of the options. Alright, so yeah, just looking at the map tells me this is probably the best truck route to take because it's the most sparse. It has, well, I would not say the most sparse, but the route has doesn't have any encounters with, come on dude, you gonna speed up or not? Well, fuck you then. You had a gas pedal you could have used, but if you're not going to use it, don't expect me to hit my brakes for you or check up for you. I mean, not like I can accelerate very fast. You can accelerate way faster than I can. People crack me up. Like, hit your damn gas pedal. I'm not driving a freaking Ferrari here. I can't accelerate anywhere near as fast as your car can. I can mash my throttle and go through like 3 gears by the time you're, between the getting on the ramp and out in front of me. Alright, let me go ahead and zoom in here. I guess I could have made that turn right there where that car was at, but my original plan was to get on to Highway 6. Take 6, basically a block over to the west, and then come up and hit the shipper from the south. Alright, dude, it's a 45 zone, not 40. Yeah, tell me you're watching your phone and not the road. You're drifting off into the right shoulder tells me that you're probably looking at your phone or daydreaming or whatever. I don't see, he's kind of got his head off to, or whoever it is, has their head a little bit off to the right of their headrest. Yeah, they're down to 38 now, so everything I'm seeing here is telling me they're probably distracted. There's a 45 sign right there, and we just passed one earlier, too, that, so they're not paying any attention. Alright, this light right here will be Highway 6. Make our turn here. Hopefully this guy keeps going straight so I don't have to keep dealing with this dumbass. We'll see. When we make our turn here, let's take a quick peek over here and see if that's what's going on. You got a phone there? Yep, got a phone in his right hand. Go figure. Not surprised at all. Yeah, and like I say, that's very easy for me to spot. So just imagine how easy it is for a cop to spot that too. When I see certain things that you're doing, even if they can't see that you're holding the phone, they can see certain things you're doing along within your lane. And that's a big clue that, hey, this person might be distracted or drunk or tired or whatever. Well, there's certain little habits that are little subtle differences that tend to happen between a distracted driver, a tired driver, and a drunk driver. Alright, we're going to head up Highway B right here, or Industrial Road. Right here is the Kraft facility. We're going to hit the Oh, they have the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile here again. Alright, so I saw a picture of this thing here, but I thought it was just them doing like a display thing or something. Well, you know, I didn't know they had like a gate guard, as we call them, or a static display kind of thing. Alright, there's signs, big ass signs right here, make it real super easy to tell where you need to turn for truck entrance. Right here. I assume there's a guard shack. I thought I saw something about a staging lot in the Google reviews. No truck parking overnight or weekends. Okay, what exactly is this truck doing? He just, he's trying to do the avoid going into drive mode creep or something. And I didn't notice any JCT drops over there. Let's take a look over here. I don't know if I need to come straight in, or I didn't see any signs saying whether to park and walk your bills up, or just come straight to the gate when it's time to check in. We'll find out. Alright guys, we are checked in. Gonna be bumping the dock right away. I did confirm when he was checking the seal on the guy in front of us that, yeah, we could just come right up to the guard shack. There's a line that you're supposed to stop at there. But it's hardly visible though, and I was concerned about being in the way of the truck that was coming out. Okay, you did say slide your tandems all the way back. Open your doors, set the reefer at 35 continuous. So I'm going to go ahead and get straightened out here. And then we'll be checking in at the driver lounge by door in between doors 11 and 12, which is super close to where I'm docking in. So I'm going to get tandem slid real quick. Alright guys, I'm going to go here. Then we'll be next to this drop trailer over here. Yeah, right next to the drop trailer. Alright, we have to modify just a tad because of these racks here. Not much of a modification from what I normally do for my standard setup, but still a little bit of one nonetheless. Alright. Off to the left a little bit. Need to get the tandems over a little bit more quickly, especially with the tandems being all the way back like that. There we go. Good recovery though. Did I just gently bounce off? I don't know. No, I think it's an uphill. It's a downhill facing forward. Oh. Dude, when I'm trying to hit a dock, it's not the time to be walking across my truck. That's exactly why I'm bouncing off there, trying to get it to not react. I mean, let's walk further away or something, not a big deal, but I don't really care for people doing that. You see the building is also new, by the way. The other side looks like it's been around, but this Obviously, from the satellite view, this side of the building's not been here all that long. All right, I'm gonna get checked in, and we'll get to the details of that crash, or well, not that crash, but that incident. All right, guys. There's a website here called METAR-TAF.com. There's an app I use also for that. Now you can donate to get historical data, or you don't have to donate if you just want to look at the current meter data, but if you want to look at historical information, you're going to need to donate to have that access. I have donated already before. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in K90F. That's the airport code for Broken Bow Airport. I don't know if yeah. All right, let me move this over. All right, so here's Broken Bow Airport. Basically, this is basically IATA code 90 Fox. Kilo 90 Fox would be the ICAO or ICAO code for that. Basically, all right. So currently we have basically VFR conditions: 6 statute mile visibility, 1,600 feet. I think that's a cloud cover. 21 degrees Celsius. All right. So now meter reports are always in Celsius, so that is one of the downfalls with it if you're used to Fahrenheit. But I will give you some little cheat sheet stuff here to help you out. But I want to look at the historical data for this. All right, let me look at the full meter. So, all right, and I was also showing you the airfield. Let me pull this up here. So this is what the airfield looks like. It's pretty much straight to the north and south. Runway 35 heading straight to the north and 17 to the south. Got light winds there, about 4 knots right now. Knots is it's 1.15 miles per knot. So, or miles, 1.15 mile per hour per nautical mile per hour, basically. All right, yeah, ceiling is 1,600 feet. This is current though, and so you got some scattered clouds at within 500 to 1,000 feet. It looks like, yeah, right. It even says 500 scattered, and overcast at 1,600. Pressure is actually pretty close to what you would call standard. 1,013 millibars is actually what you call standard. We're out with 1015, so it's just a tad above standard. All right, now I want to pull up the history though, so we're going to come over here because this incident happened on Friday. So we'll come over here to September 29th. Now you can do all this on a mobile app too, but I'm doing it on my tablet, on my laptop, because I get much bigger view here. So yeah, it's just a more user-friendly experience here. All right, so the 29th. It's going by UTC, which is Universal Time Coordinate, or as we might also call it, Zulu time. And then the local LT would be local time, so that's Central Time. Now the incident happened at 15:30ish local time, from what I understood. So we're going to go ahead and go to there first. I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of real quick tutorial on how to read these decode these meters though. All right, they have it here. This is VFR conditions. This is more so for if you're in aviation, but again, if you're I don't know, maybe some of you guys might want to get into flying at some point in time, but generally though, I'm just kind of gonna gloss over this for the layman, knowing that most of you guys don't have pilot ratings. All right, temperature 28 degrees Celsius. Now, good rule of thumb here, to help quickly convert, because there's math that you have to do to figure it out, but there's ways you can simplify that process where you don't have to do so much math. If you just remember certain Celsius and Fahrenheit comparisons, so the boiling and freezing point of water, that's a really good one to work with. Freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so we like to work with very easy round numbers, right? Because it doesn't really convert quite that way in between. So my aviation experience, I can tell you that 10 degrees Celsius is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And then Celsius and Fahrenheit cross over each other at minus 40. So that said, now every 10 degrees Celsius is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we know we're roughly, we'll just say 30 degrees, that's 20 degrees Celsius. So we'll add 36 degrees to that 50 degrees that I talked about. Because 10 and 50, add 20 more Celsius to that. That would be adding 36 more in Fahrenheit. That would be 86 degrees. come down 2 degrees Celsius. That's about 3 or 4 degrees. So basically it's in the low 80s in Fahrenheit. That's, so that's good enough. That's doesn't have to be perfect. We know that it's a pretty warm day there right now, but just to kind of glance over this. All right, so K404, K404, whatever it is, I want to say that might be another code for the airfield. I don't know, or it's a type of weather reporting station. All right, right here, this is the date and time in Zulu time, which is UTC, when this report was given out. This is the 29th at 0015 Zulu. That would be 1915 local time. Now, auto, that just means that it's an automatic weather observation station. And in this part right here, this is your wind speed and direction. So the direction would be first. Winds are 090 at 5 knots. That would be what started that day. Now, 090 would be due east. 0 degrees or 360 would be north. 90 is east, 180 is south, and 270 is west. So that would be coming straight from the east. Now, 10 SM, that is 10 statute miles. That tells you what the visibility is at the airfield at that point in time. Now, again, this is an automatic weather station, so you're not going to get more than 10 statute miles on anywhere, because that's how automatic stations work. They don't look at more than 10 miles out. Back in the day when you had human observers, they would go up to about 20 statute miles out, or sometimes you'd even see visibility unlimited on here. But 10 statute miles, for the most part, is perfectly fine visual conditions. In other words, you shouldn't have any problem at all seeing the airfield in those kind of conditions, as long as you don't have, as long as you're not blocked by any clouds in between your altitude and the field elevation. Okay, CLR, man, that's sky condition clear. It means there are no clouds in the sky at that point in time. This 28/20 would be your temperature and dew point in Celsius. Now, that's 28 degrees Celsius dew point, temperature, and then 20 degree dew point. And then the A2993, that would be your altimeter reading, or that's your pressure altitude. That's your barometric pressure, basically, your barometer, whatever terminology you want to work with there. 29.92 is what you call standard atmospheric pressure. So we're, like I said, just a tad above what I talked about earlier. Remark, it's RMK, that's Remark, and then Alpha 02, that's a Type 2 automated weather station. That's all that means. So don't really care about that. All right, something you might want to keep in mind here. Let me come over to, I want to show you when we get to a point where the dew point and temperature meet up. Right here, 21 degrees Celsius, 21 degrees dew point. You got cloudy skies, pretty good visibility there. Not great, but decent. All right, right here though, you got winds from the, basically 060 at 4 knots. That's not really strong winds at all. And maybe from the east-northeast, I would call it. Overcast at 6,000 feet. So you got overcast skies at 6,000 and a little bit higher than normal pressure there. Now 6 statute miles here. I remembered, so you got broken and overcast at 5,000 feet. Got more broken clouds at 5,000. Or BR, I want to say it's actually, it might be rain if I remember right. Might be, yeah, it's been a bit since I've gone over the details of some of these stuff that you don't always see. But BR, I want to say it's rain. So you can actually see it right here too. And you got broken clouds at 5,000 feet, overcast at 5,500. Pretty much everything else is the same here. So what we really want to know here as far as trucking or travel is especially wind conditions. But you might also want to know temp and dew point, because if temp and dew point are the same, that's the point where fog forms. So if you got temperature and dew point the same, then you might want to be, might be concerned about, am I going to start driving into foggy conditions if I see this? All right, so I'll go ahead and move on. I don't want to have this thing take too long here. Let's get to the gist of this incident here. Around 15:30 is when that incident happened, local time. You see there we had visual conditions there, 32 degrees Celsius, so about 90 or so degrees Fahrenheit. So really nice warm day, and 10 statute mile visibility, so we had really good visibility there. Now what do we have for winds though? All right, so originally you had winds 100, bearing 100 at 5 knots with gusts to 13 knots. So a little bit breezy, but not too bad. Definitely it could be a crosswind problem though. Given that, I'm going to take a wild guess that the pilot, when he landed, may have been landing on runway 17 heading southbound instead of 35 heading northbound. because that's because you always want to try to land into the wind and not with the wind. Now, this is a crosswind though, so kind of makes it a little bit more of a the wind's shifted from definitely favoring southbound direction to complete crosswind here around the time of the landing. So that's why I'm going to assume that the pilot probably landed on runway 17, and that will come into play here pretty soon here. So all in all, because there are two questions that came up. Why did the woman end up on the runway in the first place? Or how and why, basically. And then, how did this pilot manage to hit her? How did he not see her? Is it possible that there were weather conditions or lighting conditions or whatever that could have inhibited his ability to see her? Or something else going on here? This guy was 72 years of age, so you also have to question his vision. Is his vision adequate? Was he just not paying attention? All that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of talk about the vision issue. Because at that age, you're definitely going to naturally have a concern about, is this guy even able to see clearly enough? And the answer should be yes. Because to even be allowed to fly an airplane, even for private pilot stuff, which this is what this guy was flying, he was in a Beechcraft Bonanza. You have to pass a flight physical. Flight physical is very similar to a trucking physical, DOT physical for trucking, but you do have certain other actual added stipulations. Like one, your vision has to be correctable to 20/20. So even if you are 72 years old and have shitty vision, if it can at least be corrected through with glasses, you're okay. As long as you can see 20/20, and then also you have to have color vision. You can't be red-green colorblind particularly. There are reasons for that. Safety reasons. Light gun, actually control towers. If there is a control tower and if you lose communication with the tower, like your radios take a dump on you, they can actually use light gun signals from the tower and flash them at you to let you know if it's safe to land or whatever, or if you need to clear the runway or stay or hold short or whatever. All right. So that said, though, as long as this guy had a valid flight physical and was not cheating or didn't have any problems that came up subsequent to his most recent flight physical, we should assume that he probably should have been able to see just fine. But then there's also a question: did he have his glasses on if he needed them? I assume that he would need them at 72, but you never know. I'm coming up on age 50 myself, and I still have perfectly fine vision. I don't know. We'll see how I go 20 years from now, though. Also, why would this woman on a lawnmower be on the damn runway? All right, so my thought was, this is Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Small town. It's not a very big town. My initial thought was this woman drunk? I just picture this woman, the small town hillbilly woman, whatever, drunk and taking a joyride on a lawnmower, just so happening into making her way onto an airfield somehow, and ended up actually on the runway at the same moment this guy's trying to land his airplane where he had a right to be. All right, so maybe that wasn't the case. So it's possible, especially given the time of day that it was, there's a possibility she actually might have been working there at the airfield as a lawn, mowing the lawn around the facility. And still the question is, what the hell are you doing on the runway? All right, so we have a general rule of thumb here. Don't go on a runway, period, unless you have a radio that you're monitoring. So which brings up another question. They're starting to load me now. Maybe did she have a radio on her? Was she monitoring what you call the CTAF channel? Which I'm gonna go over that here. I'm gonna go to airnav.com. And we'll pull up that same airfield, and we'll show you some of the details of that. We'll pull up 90 Fox. Broken Bow Airport. Okay, so I need to give you some of the details here, and we'll kind of come up with some ideas here. I'm going to use this info here as well, because I'm going to go into Google Earth and show you what the place looks like later on. All right, field elevation is 404 feet. It's 2 miles southwest of Broken Bow. Time zone is UTC -5. That's and aviation will use UTC offset. So it's -5 during daylight savings. During standard time, during daylight savings, and -6 during standard time. Not really really so significant information. As long as we know what time it was and Broken Bow and what the weather conditions were, we know we had perfectly fine weather conditions. So it raises a big, huge question. How did this guy not see her? And why did he land with her on the runway, even if she wasn't supposed to be there? All right, it was open to the public. It is open to the public. It activated in 1967. Does not have a control tower. Now, ARTCC is Air Route Traffic Control Center. It's basically a higher altitude en route facility that manages all the aircraft at higher altitude. That's Fort Worth Center. FSS would be a flight service station. McAllister Flight Service Station would be the one. All right, NOTAM's facility. We're not so concerned about that right now. I don't know. I didn't look to see if there were any NOTAMs at the time of this incident. Attendance, it is unattended. So basically nobody's there. It's not even a control tower at airport. So you're thinking like, well, how do you keep people from going on the airfield or onto the runway? Okay, well, again, you don't go on an active runway unless you have a radio that you're monitoring. And right here, airport communications, CTAF. That's a common traffic advisory facility or frequency, something like that. I think that's what it is. All right, so 122.9 megahertz would be the frequency that you're supposed to be using if you're flying around into or out of this airfield. Basically, it's like a CB radio in a way. You just go on that frequency and then you report you're on, you're taking off, or that you're on maybe on a downwind leg, which is flying the opposite direction that you're planning to land, and basically flying parallel to the airfield. And you'll say you'll also report base leg, which means you're at a 90-degree angle from the runway and getting ready to turn final. Or you'll say, all right, it's November 225 Yankee or something, turning final. That kind of stuff. And anybody who's in the area who has any intent to do anything with this airfield, is supposed to be monitoring this frequency and be able to hear this going on. And same thing if you're on a lawnmower and going across the runway. Well, the lawnmower's probably a little on the noisy side, so now there's the question of, even if she did have radio, would she be able to hear it? And if that's the case, then maybe you shouldn't be on the runway in the first place. Go around the runway. Don't go on the runway. Yeah, maybe she probably looked and made a dumb assumption that, oh yeah, it's clear, we're fine. Started going across the runway, and all of a sudden her head got taken off by the wing of an airplane, literally. All right. Weather. The WX is weather. That's a AWOS 3. That's a Type 3 weather observation station, basically at 4 Oscar 4. Remember we were talking about that on the meters earlier. That's 8 nautical miles southwest of the airfield, so that's not even the same facility where that weather is coming from. There's another one, 18 nautical miles east. Basically, you monitor these frequencies, and it'll give you the meter report if you're on an airplane. Obviously, you're not going to have use for that in a truck, unless you have a scanner, perhaps, that can monitor those frequencies. But generally, truckers aren't going to be using this kind of information. But again, meter reports for airfields are very useful information for trucking. Because if you're wondering about what the weather conditions, maybe you see a storm cell or something up ahead and you're not sure what's going on with it. Well, you can look at the meter report and get some ideas there, perhaps on how cold or warm it is. Now, if you're going to see fog, perhaps, or clouds, or how much rain or whatever. All right, runway information. Runway is 3,200 feet long, so not much more than half a mile long. Pretty small airfield. 50 feet wide. That's only going to accommodate a small aircraft. Surface. One of my friends, he thought, well, maybe it was a grass runway and she was just mowing it or something. But not, because again, it's an asphalt runway and in good condition. So she definitely wasn't there trying to mow the runway. Yeah, it was a plausible question to ask, though. A good question to ask, because small airfields sometimes are actually grass. All right, weight bearing capacity, single wheel. Basically, if they only have single main gear, they can handle up to 17,000 pounds, and that's it. Runway edge lights, medium intensity. Don't have too much concern over that right now, especially with trucking. Runway 17, that's the one we believe that he probably landed on. Elevation 403. Traffic pattern is left. That means when you take off and land, you're supposed to always make left turns. Runway heading is 175 magnetic or 180 true. So, yeah, I'm not going to go into the weeds with that magnetic and true heading stuff. Markings, basic and in good condition. Visual slope indicator, 2 light PAPI on the left. Maybe I will take a look on Google Earth and see if it'll show that. I don't know. Basically, there's red and white lights. There's two lights to the left of the the approach end of the runway. Basically, that's talking about. Has a 2-degree glide path, which is actually a little more on the shallow side. Most airfields have a 3-degree glide path. All right, obstruction: 75-foot trees, 770 feet from the runway, 250 feet left and right of center line, and requires a 7-to-1 slope to clear. Again, 2-degree slope. Glide path is more shallow than what is typical at a large airfield. Most airfields that where jetliners are going to land will have a 3-degree glide path. All right, and then just in case, 35, 1 foot higher in elevation, also left traffic. 355 magnetic, 360 true, basic in good condition. 2 light PAPI on the left, also, as well as a 2-degree glide path. Has 83-foot trees, 1,050 feet from the runway, and 111 feet left of the center line, and 10-to-1 slope to clear. All right, so more shallow. All right, it's owned by the city of Broken Bow. As there are 7 aircraft based on the field, they're all single-engine aircraft. Aircraft operations per month is about 67, so about twice a day. Maybe a little more than twice a day. There's an airplane flying, flying in or out of there. It's not hardly ever used at all. 50% transient general aviation and 50% local GA traffic. Okay, that was for the period ending 5 November 2018. So very low use airfield. That could be a factor. Well, yeah, not much going on here. Now, this probably doesn't include touch and goes. It just means how many airplanes are taking off, like starting their flight there or ending their flight there, or both, whatever. All right, so it's possible the woman just maybe in her duties assumed that there's nothing going on because there isn't much of anything ever going on there anyway, and it just so happened to be the one time a day when she found out she was wrong. Okay, so Oscar 4 is actually McCurtain County Regional Airport. So now we know. All right, so now we will go into Google Earth. No, not that. All right, once it finishes loading up here, we will put in the lat long coordinates here. If it'll let me. Let's see what happens there. All right, yeah, it should be coming into it now. All right, so here's the airfield. Now, this should be distinguished from Broken Bow Municipal Airport, which is not the same airfield. Broken Bow Municipal Airport is, I think, a little further up this way somewhere, up on the north side of town. This is south, and actually, there's a shipper that I go to right about right here. That's to be a Tyson facility down here in Broken Bow that JCT drivers go to. If you go straight to the north from it, that's where the airfield is. Okay, again, I have reason to believe that he was landing on runway 17 because of the weather conditions. So you see we do have the trees here to the south. That's why, yes, I don't know. It shouldn't be a problem either way. But again, I have reason to think that he was landing southbound. So let's get this rotated over. Okay, I'm going to zoom in some more. Yeah, we'll get zoomed in a lot. Yeah, I don't see the PAPI lights on here, so this looks like just a rendition, but I do see a fence here. All right, let's angle it back upward. And we'll zoom in some more. Okay. So yeah, look like there's a fence. So it's not like just any Tom, Dick, and Harry should be able to get on there, but you do see a lot of grass around the airfield. But there is a road right here next to it as well on the west side of it. So there is that question. Now, again, 3,500 foot long run, 3,600 foot long runway. That's maybe 2/3 of a mile. 5,280 is a full mile. 2,600 would be half a mile. Let's take a look. 3,600 divided by 5,280. Yeah, it's a little bit over 2/3 of a mile. Now, just quick math again. This airplane's landing at about 80 knots or so. I don't know the exact landing speed of a Beechcraft Bonanza, and it's also going to depend on the weather and how much fuel he has on board and how much crap is inside the aircraft as well. So we'll just estimate somewhere around 80 knots, which will be just a little bit south of 90 miles an hour. In fact, let me give you a more exact number on that. So 80 times 1.15, yeah, 92 miles an hour. Okay, so if we just assume that this is an exactly half-mile long runway, 90 miles an hour, or no, at 60 miles an hour, it should take right at 1 minute to go from one end of the runway to the other. 120 miles an hour cuts that in half. That's 2 miles in 1 hour. So that would be 30 seconds to go from one end of the runway to the other. So at 90 miles an hour, it's right in the halfway point of that. That'd be about 45 seconds to get from one end to the other. But mind you, he's probably slowing down, and well, it depends on if he's doing a touch-and-go landing or a full stop. That makes a difference too. If he's just doing a touch-and-go, and he's not going to be slowing down. He's actually, once he touches down, he's going to accelerate again and then get back up to takeoff speed and take back off once he gets to his rotate speed. But so that's the part I don't know. I don't know if he was doing a full stop landing or a touch-and-go, but it sounded like from what the articles had said, yeah, he had actually made it onto the ground before he realized that she was on the runway, and then he tried to take off again. Basically, hit his throttle and tried to get back up to takeoff speed because apparently he thought he had a better chance of getting off the ground and clearing her than by stopping before he got to her. Again, that's 3,200 feet. Well, I don't know. It's beach confidentials. I don't know how much runway they tend to take. I would say a couple thousand feet or so, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe even that. But so we have to wonder where she was at on the airfield as well. What part of the runway she was at, to the point where he had to make that decision. And you see this going on here, and you got clear skies. Again, someone's on the runway. How do you not see them? It's only half a mile. Or actually 2/3 of a mile. I don't know how this guy is not able to see her. So there's that big question mark too. Not to mention, why was she on the runway? Alright guys, we are done loading here. It is a little bit before 10 a.m. It's in the door for... What's with this turkey now? Is it just divots in the lane or something? Or my brakes taking a little bit to release? Might be the brakes being a little bit slow to release because I can hear air hissing through the trailer right now. Alright, let's get checked out of here and then we'll talk about where we're going next. We're going to scale the load out at also because it is a heavy one, 43,000 pounds. I haven't even looked at what exactly it is. It was just a bunch of boxes of stuff I couldn't read. Because they had already put the chopped ham. Alright, I'm going to get checked out with the guard. Alright guys, we're ready to go here. Yeah, the guard needs to check the temp and make sure it's set to the right temp and within range, and check the seal. Now the question is, where are we going to? Alright, this load is going to basically the Atlanta area. Specifically to the city of Union City, which is on the southwest side of Atlanta. Basically, what's that, off I-85, just outside the 285 loop. It'll be a customer I've never been to before. Atlanta Marketplace, DC, I think is what it's called. Never been there before, like I said. Also, this is a heavy load, so I do want to scale it. Probably gonna be okay, but I'm definitely gonna scale it either way. I'm around 33,000 on my drives right now, so as long as the BOL matches what actually is, what weight actually is in my trailer, I should be okay. But it'd be definitely want to double check it. I got the tandems at the 40-foot mark, so that's the. Wait on this guy here. Yeah, tandems are 40 feet, and I can go up to 40, well, really 43, because most of the states that do have limits over there along that route, they go by a kingpin and center of the axle group, and not actually to the, you know what, why not? We'll come back, well, I guess it doesn't matter. You know, yeah, let's go to the left, because so the quickest, I mean, as far as scaling the load is concerned, come on. There's always going to be someone coming from one side or the other. Kind of looking like it. And I don't have an overrun area where I can do a proper button hook turn from with, so it's going to take time to get my tandems out of the northbound traffic lane if I go left. Now, oh, come on, dude. And then you're turning in there. I could have gone a long time ago and I known you were turning there. Thanks for signaling earlier. Freaking shithead. Alright, so Loves and Bevier, which is over 30 miles away from here, is the closest Catskill available. Although I do have to go slightly out of route to do it, to get there. So I'm reluctant to go there if I have any reason to think that I might scale okay, and I think I will. So I'm still going to scale it, but I'm going to go ahead and go a little further down the road and stay on my route. I have options here. I can either take 63 straight on down to I-70, or I can cut across Highway 6 and basically take Highway 6 over to US 61 and head south on 61. It's been a bit since I've taken 61, so I have been on that route before. I know there's a pilot down there. I don't know if it has a Catskill, but I mean, it's been a while, but I know there's a pilot down there that I have stopped at before along the way down to I-70, so let's give that one a try. Just so you can see what the route is. Okay, I need to get on 6, so basically going to work our way over to the east and south. That'll run us into 61. Alright, the preferred truck route is still to come up, which I could do, yeah. Well, it's preferred truck route, so why not? You know, it's just for the fun of it. Let's see what we got over here. Probably end up in the video anyway, because I don't want it to be too excessively long. So, yeah, basically the plan here is to take my load down to the St. Louis area, and then take I-64 across from there to the Mount Vernon, Illinois area. I-57 down from Mount Vernon to I-24. Then I-24 across through Nashville and Chattanooga. And we'll get on I-75 in Chattanooga and then take that straight down into Atlanta, and then just kind of loop around to the southwest side. Alright, so that's what's going on here. I'm going to call this one a day, right? Because I know I had plenty of time spent covering that incident there. Kind of show and tell kind of stuff. So we'll keep it to the point here, right? You guys know what's going on. I'll have a new one for you guys when we get to the Atlanta area, right? Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys then.